Hello, everyone. Immigration attorney Michael Ruttle here. And with the new Trump administration coming in at the end of January 2025, we as immigration attorneys are expecting to see an increase in the frequency of interviews. They've been kind of slowed down for a while, but they're going to increase. And so today, I'm going to walk you through what to expect during your USCIS interview, whether it's your first interview or you're preparing for another step in your immigration journey, whether it's for a marriage-based green card or citizenship. This video will help you feel more confident and ready for that day. Just a quick side note before we start, this video is meant to address the process for a USCIS interview in the United States, not at a US embassy abroad. That's in a separate video. But it does apply whether it's for a green card or citizenship, because the process of the interview is the same, even though the questions may be different. For tips on specific questions related to those different types of applications, check out my other videos. Now back to it. First things first, what should you bring with you? You want to make sure that you have your interview notice, your valid government ID, any relevant documents for your case, and anything else listed on the interview notice itself. For example, if your case involves marriage, you want to bring proof of your relationship, like joint bank account statements, lease agreements, or photos. If your case is employment-based, you want to bring employer verification letters, pay stubs, or other tax documents. And if it's your citizenship, you want to bring your green card. Preparation is key, so double check everything the night before and have it ready to go. Next, you want to know where you're going. Look up the address of the USCIS field office listed on your interview notice. Use a map application or GPS to plan your route and check for parking options near the office, because you don't really want to be late to your interview. Arriving late can be stressful. You want to try to get there at least 30 minutes early to give yourself plenty of time. When you arrive to the USCIS field office, be prepared to go through security. These are contractors who protect a federal building. Think of it like going through the airport security. You'll need to empty your pockets. You may need to take off your shoes, place your belongings through a metal detector. Remember, no weapons, drugs, or any other prohibited items will be allowed. You'll be turned away if that happens. So it's always better to travel light and avoid unnecessary delays. Once you're inside and past security, head to your designated area for the interview. Large USCIS buildings can be tricky to navigate, so don't hesitate to ask security or staff for directions if you're not sure where to go. When you arrive at the waiting area, you'll need to check in at reception. It's usually pretty easy to find the reception desk. You will present your interview notice to the clerk, who will scan it and provide further instructions. Before your interview, before you're actually called in, you may need to provide your biometrics again. And this is to verify your identity, that you're actually the person having the green card interview. And this involves taking your photograph and your fingerprints, so be ready for that step. After you check in, you'll sit in a waiting area until your name or number is called. Please be patient, because the wait times can vary depending on the time of day or how busy the office is that day. When it's your turn, a USCIS Immigration Service officer will call you and escort you to the interview location. It's usually an office. The interview will begin with you being placed under oath, so remember that everything you say must be truthful. The officer will ask you questions about your application and may request additional evidence. The interviews themselves typically last between 20 and 30 minutes. I've seen them go shorter, and I've seen them go longer, up to an hour or more if your case is complex. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but honesty is critical. If you don't know the answer to a question, it's better to admit that you don't know rather than to guess. If you have a lawyer with you, the lawyer's role is to ensure that the officer follows proper procedure and that your application is fairly reviewed. However, it's still your responsibility to answer all questions truthfully and directly. Your lawyer cannot answer the questions for you. At the end of the interview, you will receive a paper summarizing the outcome. This could be an approval, which is what we always hope for. It could be a request for more evidence, which is commonly called an RFE, or in rare cases, a denial, but usually denials don't happen at the interview. If additional evidence is requested, be sure to submit it by the deadline. You might also want to know who is allowed in the room with you. Only specific individuals can attend the interview. That's the applicant, the petitioner, if it's in a marriage-based case, an interpreter if needed, your attorney, and in some cases, a caretaker. Friends, family, or other supporters won't be allowed inside, so plan accordingly. The one exception is if you have small minor children that you can't leave unattended. Finally, once your interview is over, you are free to leave the building. Whether you walk out with an approval or need to follow up, the most important thing is that you've taken a big step in your immigration process. Usually, you do not get called in for a second interview. I hope this guide helps you feel a little bit more prepared and confident for your USCIS interview. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your questions in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your interview and keep climbing that mountain.